U.S. citizens will be able to select their gender neutral X as a marker on their passport books starting April 11th, the State Department said Wednesday. The issuance of X gender markers on U.S. passports does not create new definitions nor rights. The policy change recognizes the true identity of the passport holder. The true identity of the passport holder is X. What if they don't want to identify as X? That's a serious question. I'm not just trying to be funny here. What if they don't want to identify as X? And then the question is, how does X really represent their true gender if X can mean anything besides male or female? What if they identify as something like, I don't know, they or them? X does not actually represent them accurately. It just makes it even more vague to what they actually want to identify as. But I actually don't understand the point here. If the point of marking a gender on a passport is for identification purposes, then what it's referring to is physical identity. So that way they can say, hey, it says female on here, but you're clearly a male. Therefore, this might not be your passport. That's what I thought the purpose was. So now if anybody can identify as X on there, then I have no idea what the purpose is unless it's just to make people feel more accepted. But it doesn't really help when it comes to a structural system of some sort that can help the people identify who they are actually looking at, so that way people can't steal other people's identity. Starting out at that, the update is important because humans do not always fit within a male or female category around the world. The lived realities of transgender, intersex, non-binary, gender non-conforming persons reflect that there's a wider spectrum of humanity than is represented by binary sex designation on passports, Stern said. Okay, so now when you think about this, you got to think about, why is something like how someone identifies when it comes to gender, why is that so important to people? And how it appears to me is that I think that people have, I'll put it this way. In the past, people used to get their value from their family or their group or their tribe or whatever they were part of, or something external like their work or something like that. But today, people tend to think that their value comes from how they feel inside. So if the way I feel inside corresponds to how valuable I am, and I feel like a woman, and you tell me that I'm not a woman, then how I'm going to hear that is that I have no value because my value is attached to how I feel inside. Now, of course, that's not true. The truth is people still have value no matter how they feel inside or what they feel like inside. We as Christians should be moving towards helping people understand that your value does not come from how you feel inside, how you feel about your sexuality or your gender. Instead, you're valuable because you were made with value. You're valuable because you were made in the image of God. Now, a lot of people don't understand what that means or how it applies to them practically, and that's something that I think we need to talk more about, which I'll talk about in some other videos in the future. So I guess my overall kind of thoughts on this is that I understand people having a desire to want to make people feel more included and comfortable. But I also understand the fact that our society can't work if we don't have words that actually correspond to physical reality. If we get rid of those words, then how are we supposed to actually physically identify people for safety reasons? Like simple reasons, like say you see somebody committing a crime and you say this person, and you can't assume their gender or maybe their race or something else, then how are you supposed to be able to tell people who this guy is? You can say, okay, he's wearing a black shirt, but there's like 20 other people with black shirts all around or something like that. Wait, you can't even say he. You have to say a person with a black shirt or something like that. Anyways, I think we need physical descriptions of reality. And I think that they're important when it comes to things like passports and driver licenses and so on. So that way we can ensure that people aren't actually stealing people's identity, the physical identity, the one that all of us can see and have some sort of agreement on. Those are just a few of my thoughts. Leave yours down below.